Today we're going to go through a sequence that's going to help your hips stay happy and healthy. So when you're ready, come down onto your mat and find a comfortable seat. So you're going to send your feet so that the soles are nice and grounded onto the mat. Lengthen up through that spine, really feel even weight between the sit bones before we start. Fingertips come just slightly in front of you. Take a breath in. Then as you exhale, we're going to raise the arms all the way up, take them out and round. Now you can have the fingertips placing side to side, or if it's comfortable, you can take the fingertips towards the back of the mat, but have yourself on a slight angle. So you want to just gently lean that torso back, but sit up and out of your waist. Take a breath in. Exhale, we're going to heel toe the feet side to side. So we're going to do some windscreen wipers with the legs, rotating pelvis and spine over to the right. Come back to center. So you'll get a little rotation through the low back here, but we mainly want to focus on those hips. So going as far as you can, keeping the sit bones relatively grounded. You may feel the side that you're rolling to slightly more grounded, the other side lifts off, and now we can take it a little bit further. So you do want to lift off. So we're rolling over to the right, left side lifts up and over. Keep pushing the mat away on the back, keep lengthening through the spine. Good. And then we're going to do one more side to side. Rolling to the right, coming back through center, rolling to the left, coming back through center, gently push your way up to seated. Take your hands slightly behind the backs of the knees, take a breath in, raise the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, slide and glide them down and away. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, slide and glide. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, slide and glide. Then we're going to transfer our weight more towards the front of the mat, coming into this 90-90 position with the legs. So you want the front leg in line with the front of your mat, and just take your fingertips to the side. So I've got my left leg here on the front, right leg going back. Generally, you want to weight yourself in the center of your sit bones if you can, because it can be very common to lift up the back leg. So we want to just position ourselves, distribute the weight evenly, find that nice comfortable position there. And then we're going to take that breath in. Exhale, you're going to slide your left hand out towards you on a diagonal. We're going to raise the right hand, looking at it with our gaze, turning it towards the side as well. So I've got one on the mat, one off. From here, we're going to rotate through the right hip. So we're going to bring the toes of the right foot up, and then we're going to exhale, drop them down. Inhale, raising up. So we're getting internal and external rotation through that right hip. And it should feel a little bit challenging, but it should feel quite nice as well. We're going to do two more. Breathing through it. Good. Using your centering here to keep that spine nice and lengthened. Gaze down to the floor. We'll then raise that right arm up. And then we'll find our way to position the hands onto the back leg, and we're going to raise the left leg up. So we're going to breathe in, raise up, exhale, drop it down. Good. So you want a slight rotation with the spine. Again, you're using the internal and external rotation through the left hip. And we've got two more. Keep using your centering, keeping the spine nice and straight, keeping the weight between the sit bones fairly even as we come to our last one. Good. And then from here, we're going to take the left leg and we're just gently going to cross it over the right. So we're going to do a lovely figure four stretch here. So you can push down and weight into a little bit of that left knee if that feels good. If it doesn't, just a very, very light touch. And we're going to take a breath here for 2 deeper breaths in and 2 deeper breaths out. Making sure that that still feels good. You can always come out of it a little bit earlier if you need to. Then when you're ready to, fingertips to the side, come back to your 90-90 position, fingertips reach out to either side. Drop those shoulders down away from your ears and relax through your jaw. Take a breath in, we're going to sweep that right arm up to that right ear. We're going to creep those fingertips over to that side and enjoy a side reach. Take a breath in, feel that openness through the side body. Restack, float the arm down. One more, raising up. Exhale, reaching over to that side. And then bringing yourself back. And we're going to add on. So you're going to raise that arm up, come into that side reach. And this time we're going to lift up and out over those hips and reach towards the back wall. You can even look a little bit towards that back wall if that feels good. Just finding what feels good. Lower the hips, come out of that side reach. And we'll do a little counter stretch to the other side. And we're going to continue. So take that breath in. Exhale, reach over. Inhale, press the mat away, lift those hips, look towards the opposite side. Breathing in. Exhale, coming back down, and then enjoy that stretch over to the right side. Last one. Breathing in. Exhale, up and over as you lift those hips up as much as you can. And then swooping back down, enjoying that nice reach over to that side, and then gently put the fingertips behind you, swap the legs. So taking yourself into that 90-90 sit on the other side. Take a breath there, place the fingertips down beside you. We're going to stretch that right hand just slightly on the diagonal, reaching up with that left, coming over into that diagonal reach. Make sure that you're weighting yourself evenly between the fingers of those hands. Take a breath in and a breath out. Then when you're ready to, you're going to raise that back leg up and exhale, drop it down. Using that internal and external rotation, finding length through the spine, using your centering here as well. Good. And we're going to do one more. Gently reach that arm, stretch the fingertips up, and we're going to bring ourselves all the way over to that side. And again, we're going to reach up with that right leg. Breathing in, exhale, drop. Finding that little rotation through the spine, quite nice as well. And we've got two more in your own time. Then from here, using that right leg, crossing it over the left as we come into that lovely figure four stretch. Breathing in for 2 deeper breaths, breathing out, slow, smooth exhales, keeping that spine nice and lengthened, a little bit weight on the knee if that feels good. And then when you're ready, placing that knee down, gently coming into our lovely side reach as we bring that arm up, stretch it over to the right, press in with the elbow, breathe in, exhale, back to the center. Then we're going to add on, so we're going to take ourselves up and over into that side reach, press the mat away, lift up the hips, look towards the corner of the room. And then gently lower yourself down, come out of that side reach. Breathing in. Exhale, press up and away. Feel that extension through the hip joint. And then gently float the hips down, float the arm down, coming into our last one. Reaching up and over. Really enjoying the stretch from the armpit all the way down to the hip. And then gently float everything all the way back to the start. Then from here, we're going to undo our legs. If you'd like, you can place a head cushion down in the space where we're going to roll back to. So you have something comfortable to lean on. Taking your hands slightly behind the backs of the knees, gently lowering yourself down as we hollow out the tummy. We look down, we create a C curve with the spine. You're then going to walk the hands down the legs as you lengthen the spine all the way onto the mat, bringing the feet about hip width apart and parallel. Hands go down beside you. Take a breath in and a breath out, allowing yourself to settle onto the mat, making sure that your pelvis, back of the ribs and back of your head are nice and heavy. Feeling the thigh bones drop into those hip sockets. When you're ready to, we're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to roll pubic bone towards the navel, feeling your low back become flush with the mat. Then we're going to roll back to our neutral. Exhale, roll towards you. Inhale, roll back to neutral. And then from there, we're going to take it into a little bit of a lift. So rolling towards you, stand into those feet, pick the pelvis up, perhaps an inch or two. Then gently lower back down, untuck the pelvis. Breathing in, exhale, roll, tuck and lift. And then we're going to just slowly drop the spine back down, untuck the pelvis. And on our next one, we're going to stand all the way into those feet, roll all the way up into that lovely spine curl position. Keeping your shoulders in contact with the mat, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, gently soften through the breastbone as you lower the spine, bone by bone by bone, all the way down, and then roll that pelvis underneath. We're going to try one more. Take a breath in. Exhale, tuck, roll and wheel up. Really pressing into those feet. You can imagine there's a magnet between the knees, keeping your knees nice and strongly together. Good. So we want to feel like we're wrapping the inside of the thighs as we stand up. And our last one. Rolling all the way up. Feeling that extension through the front of the hips. And then rolling all the way down. Articulating through the spine. From there, we're going to take a breath in, we're going to add on. So as you exhale, we're going to wheel up into that spine curl. Hold that position, then as you take your breath in, you're going to raise onto the toes of your left foot, lift up the heel, exhale, drop, raise onto the toes of the right foot, and drop the heel, lower your spine down, bone by bone by bone, uncurl the pelvis back to neutral. We've got two more. Tuck those hips, raising up. This time, right version. So raise the right heel, drop it back down, raise the left heel, drop it back down, and then slowly and surely the spine follows. Last one, remembering to get that tuck and curl before we lift up into the spine curl. Take a breath in, raise the left heels, exhale, release, right heels, exhale, release, and then wind that spine back down to the mat. Breathing in when you're ready. Exhale, curl that pubic bone towards the navel, coming back into our spine curls. We're going to work a bit more strongly now. Take a breath in. We're going to keep those hip bones quite level. So you can imagine you rest something on the front of your hip bones. Then as you inhale, we're going to open out that left leg as much as you can, keeping the pelvis lifted. We're then going to return it to center, and then we're going to open out the right leg. So you're rolling onto the outside edge of that foot whilst keeping that pelvis lifted up towards the ceiling. Then we're going to lower the spine down, bone by bone by bone. Release the hips, take a breath, take a pause. Exhale, wheeling up into that spine curl. Keeping those ribs tucked in. As you inhale, open the right leg now. Exhale, close. Left leg opens, and then close. Keep yourself through that midline as you think you're wheeling that spine down, bone by bone by bone. Uncurl the pelvis. Now, if that was enough for you, you're going to do another 2 sets, one to each side. If you'd like more challenge, we're going to wheel up into that spine curl. As you take a breath in, stand strongly into that right leg as we raise the left leg up into a single knee fold. We're going to lower it back down, and we're going to keep that pelvis lifted. Keep in your spine curl as we raise the right side. Lower it down, and then gently lower the spine down, bone by bone by bone. Breathing in. Exhale, lift. This time, keep everything nice and level as you raise the right leg up. Exhale, lower. Left leg lifts. Exhale, lower. And then slowly wheel the spine down all the way. We're going to take the right leg into the chest, followed by the left. Rock the body side to side. Feel a little massage on the low back. And then bringing the feet back in line with those sit bones about hip width apart and parallel. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to raise that right leg into a single knee fold. We're going to bring it towards the midline. We're going to circle down towards the floor, out towards the side, and back to the center. So you can imagine there's a pencil coming up from your kneecap, and you're drawing a circle around the room. So you're really finding that stability through the left side of the pelvis as it stays nice and grounded. And this is our last circle in this way. Good. Then we're going to take a pause, take a breath, and we're going to take it out to the side. We're going to roll it down, out, around, and all the way back. So we're rolling that thigh bone through that hip socket, getting it in all ranges of motion, which helps strengthen and stabilize it. So we're coming to our third one now. Keeping your centering nice and strong to make sure that pelvis doesn't move, and then float the leg down. Then we repeat on the other side, so floating that left leg up into that single knee fold. Coming towards you, circling it around, out, and then back to the center. Again, imagining there's a color or a pencil, drawing a circle from the top of your kneecap around the room, and you're keeping that other side of the pelvis nice and grounded, and that standing leg nice and stable. Pause in the center as we reverse those circles. So it's a really good one for keeping that centering nice and strong, finding that nice length through the spine as you work as well. Coming to our last one when you're ready. And then gently lowering the leg down. We're going to heel toe the feet slightly wider apart. Take the hands slightly wider as well into a low V, palms face towards the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to rotate pelvis and spine over to the right. We're going to inhale, draw everything back to center, rotating over to the left. Keep your shoulder blades in contact with the mat. So we're getting a nice stretch through the low spine, really lifting the sense of energy as well. One more to either side. And then gently, when you're ready to, rolling up to center. Then we're going to turn over onto the right side. So push yourself up. For me, I've got to swivel myself around. And we're coming into a few side lying exercises. So I like to have a cushion and I pad the space between my shoulder and my ear. So I'm going to lengthen my arm out long, palm face towards the ceiling. You want the shoulder on top of shoulder and the hip on top of hip. Then we want to bring those knees in so that the heels are in line with the back of the pelvis, and you can either have the hand placed in front of you or on your hip, depending on what feels most comfortable. You just want to make sure that you're lifting up and out of that waist. We're really finding a nice sense of lift through the spine and using your centering to keep your pelvis nice and neutral. Take a breath there, allow yourself a little bit of time to set up. And then when you're ready, you're going to breathe in and then exhale. We're going to open ourselves into the oyster. Keep the heels connected. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. And then just find that sense of rhythm with the movement. And we've got two more. So really focusing on keeping that pelvis nice and still, keeping the spine nice and lengthened. And then keeping those heels connected to feel that nice sense of work through the glute. We're going to bring ourselves into more of a chair position. So you want the legs 90 degrees to the torso. And we're going to stretch out that top leg in line with the hip joint. So you want to find that you've got a nice little point through the foot. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can just let it release, but you still want a sense of lift through the foot. So from here, we're going to take a breath in. Exhale, we're going to lift up the leg as much as you can, keeping pelvis neutral. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Two more when you're ready. Keep working through the underside of the waist as well, keeping that mind, body, breath connection. Last one. And then we're going to lower the leg back down, draw it one back on top of the other. We're going to stretch out the underside leg and we're going to bring that foot down onto the mat. From here, we're going to do some adductor lifts. Taking a breath in, we're going to lift that bottom leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Good. Now you want to make sure that you're lifting with that inner thigh and not just the foot. Then from here, we're going to stack the legs back, one on top of the other, make a gentle fist and light tap, tap, tap on the side just to release. From here, you're going to push yourself up. We're going to take a little stretch in the middle, which is a lovely spine stretch forwards. So bringing yourself with your feet together, knees wide apart, take a breath in, exhale, we're going to lengthen the back of the neck, nod the head, lengthening yourself over the legs, take a breath in there. And then gently wheeling yourself up. Find that length through the spine, last one. Good. Enjoy that sense of release through the spine. And then we're going to come over onto the left side. So again, placing that head cushion where it needs to go. And repeating the oyster as we start. So heels in line with the back of the pelvis, that sense of lift through the waist. Take a breath in there. Then connect the heels, open the leg out. Closing down with control. So the same amount of effort as you open comes as you close, because it can be easy to use gravity here to close the movement. But what you want to do is make sure that the leg is active until it's down, one on top of the other. Good. Using your centering, keeping that pelvis as still as you can. Last one. And then close. Gently sweep those legs into their 90 degrees position. And then lengthen that top leg out in line with the hip joint when you're ready. Gentle point if you can with the foot. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift. Coming back to hip height every time. So thinking, can I get that nice length and lift through the leg? And do think length rather than lift, making sure that your jaw is nice and relaxed as we work through the leg, and that shoulder is nice and down away from your ear. Good. Last one. And gently place one leg on top of the other. We're going to slide that bottom leg out. We're going to place that top leg, if you can, with the foot down. Take that breath in, lift the bottom leg, exhale, lower. Remembering to do it from the inner thigh rather than from the foot. Good. I know it's not an easy one, but it is really good for hip function. And last one, lowering down, gently bring one leg on top of the other, tap, tap, tap on the side just to gently release. And when you're ready to, slowly push yourself up, finding your way into a lovely, comfortable seat. Just going to gently roll the shoulders forwards, up and back a couple of times, just to really release and relax through the shoulders. And we'll take a couple of grounding breaths to close. So take a breath in through the nose, allow the air to fill up all the way to the bottom of the lungs. And as you exhale, softly release and let go. If you feel comfortable to, you can lower your gaze to the floor, and I invite you to close down your eyes if that feels good. Noticing where you feel the breath is most present. Is it at the tip of your nose, your nostrils? Is it down deep in your abdomen, or perhaps in your chest? We're just going to take 3 breaths, just noticing where we feel the breath the most. And soften with each exhale. And when you've finished your last smooth, slow exhale out, gently roll the shoulders forwards, up and back. You can gently wiggle the fingers and toes as well. Blink the eyes open. And thank you so much for joining me today.